This video is sponsored by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, build your online presence with Squarespace. Hey everyone, Ace of Clay here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another sculpting video. Today, I'm making Pyramid Head from Silent Hill. Now after sculpting the nurse last week, I had no choice but to sculpt Pyramid Head this week, and I'm so glad I did. He is so different from my usual sculptures, so I really hope you enjoy this process and you like how he comes out. If you're not familiar with Pyramid Head, again, just like the nurse, he is from the Silent Hill franchise. He's in the movies and in the video games. He's this big, huge buff guy, uses this long, crazy sword, and he's got this giant pyramid-shaped headpiece on, and he's nothing but your worst nightmare. And I'm gonna bring him to life today in clay form, only about this tall though. So without further ado, if you want to see me sculpt this guy from start to finish, then hit like, hit subscribe, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ace of Clay, and let's get started. Alright, let's get started. I've got my wooden plaque here. This was made by Max in the UK. I'm going to go ahead and start shaping out the armature. I've got my holes drilled in for that. And we're going to start shaping out the legs and the torso area. And then of course all the materials and tools that you see me use in this video are listed in the description box below, along with my affiliate links if you want to purchase anything. I just want to make sure I get the proportions right. And then he is going to be wearing, I guess, for lack of a better term, a floor-length skirt. So I'm not worried about what the legs are going to be shaped like at this point. I just want them to support the torso. And then here we go. This will be like the spine here. And then this is going to be an arm. Number one. Then I'm going to mirror this like that. And there we go. We got a little stick figure situation going on. Let's connect the two pieces with some more wire. Now that that looks good, I'm going to fill in the skirt with some aluminum foil. Now just to be safe, before I start adding ultralight, I'm just going to put some tape around that just so it doesn't want to separate. Let's go in with that ultralight and start shaping out the bottom here, and I'm just going to work my way up. So this guy is pretty jacked. I think it's safe to assume that he doesn't skip leg day. So I'm gonna make sure that this is bulked out correctly. And it's not just this drapery. There's legs underneath there. So it needs to look like the legs are pulling the fabric. All right, there we go, his armature. Looks good, I'm happy with it. Let's go ahead and throw this in the oven, bake it, and then be right back. All right, now that he's baked and completely cooled down, it's time to add our final layer of clay. I'm using some Super Sculpey Original for this project. I'm gonna start covering that ultralight. All right, now for the torso, because he's in this sort of twisted position and he's leaning back, it's not gonna be just a straightforward torso with his arms to his side. I have to take into account that curvature and sort of show how the muscles are going to turn with his spine like that. So I'm not just going to just throw muscles on where I think they're supposed to go. I need to take that into account. So I'm gonna go ahead. I always like to start with my male torsos. I like to start with the pectoral muscles, and then I go down to the obliques and the abdomen, and then the shoulders I'll do as part of the arms later on. So let's just get this middle area figured out. All right, now that the chest looks pretty good, I'm gonna go in and start adding the bicep area on each arm. All right, now that I've got that torso at a good point, pretty happy with it, let's go ahead and start the skirt. I'm gonna, skirt or dress, I don't know what to call it. I'm just gonna add a piece up here to make that edge, and then we'll start adding a ton of snakes of clay to finish it off. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna go in now and add some creepy details to the torso. It's way too perfect and untouched. I need to add some scars, some veins, all sorts of good stuff, some nice texture, and then we'll get that really finished up, and then we'll go from there. Hey, it's me again. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Whether you're just getting started or you're an established brand, the Squarespace commerce platform supports the way you do business. Whether you're looking to sell products directly or even bill for your services, they've got you covered. Personally, I love Squarespace for their portfolios and galleries. Their portfolios are so professional and so beautifully designed that I know they're going to show my work in its best light. And I really love the customizable galleries that I can even password protect for clients. One of my favorite Squarespace features is my ability to sync my social media content to my homepage, or really any page of my website for that matter. So if all of this sounds good to you and you're ready to start your own website, then head on over to squarespace.com, start a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/aceofclay to save 10% on your first website or domain. Who doesn't love saving money and websites? Now back to Pyramid Head. All right, let's get this guy in the oven. All right, now for the blade, I've decided that I want the blade part to be 6 inches long. And then with the handle, it'll be around like 7.5. So let's measure. And then we're gonna put a piece of wire on it. I'm gonna leave a lot at the end because to attach this to the figure, I'm going to wrap it around his arm wire. Add the clay, then we'll brush on a little bit of Bacon Bond.
All right, there we go. We've got Pyramid Head's giant knife. I'm gonna go ahead and bake this too, and then we'll come back and keep going. Be right back. All right, now that he's baked and completely cooled down, and so is his giant knife, we're gonna go ahead and start that pyramid helmet. What I'm doing now is just cutting it out of some of that paper like we did with the knife. Now we're gonna tape the pieces together to figure out how big that back piece needs to be. Let me throw everything everywhere first. All right, there we go. Got the pyramid thing figured out. Now I think what I'm gonna do is cover these in clay and then reassemble them. All right, there we go. Now let's detail it. All right, I think that's good for now. Let's go ahead and sculpt his arms and hands, and then we'll be ready to bake. All right, he's looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and get him in the oven. We're gonna bake the headpiece separately so that it's easier to paint, and then we'll be good to go. So be right back. All right, now that he's baked and cooled down, this guy is ready for some paint. I'm gonna start with the skin, and then we'll do this robe skirt thing, and then his headpiece and the knife, and we'll be good to go. This is gonna be fun to paint. It's gonna be fun like the nurse was last week. Let's get started. All the paints that I'm using are Folk Art brand matte acrylics. Now I'm just going to glue this on with some E6000 industrial adhesive. And he's done! My sculpture of Pyramid Head is complete. Let me know what you think of him in the comments. This guy came out so good. I'm so happy with this thing. I had a lot of fun with the full male anatomy that I got to do. I don't do that too often. Got to do some organic snakes of clay drapery here, his nice huge knife, and of course I had a blast making this little headpiece, and I really hope you enjoyed this process, and of course you'll join me for the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching and being here. Don't forget to check me out on Own It to book a meeting with me, and then of course be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Ace of Clay, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.